So the investor bros are coming to Gundam and, well, Bandai just isn't helping the case. In fact, they're making it worse. Now, this isn't normally the type of video that I would ever make on this channel, but I've just noticed a massive uptick in Gundam investment kind of type videos on YouTube. And I think these are actually really starting to impact the market, especially with the lead up to GDO 5 as well. A lot of anticipation for this set. It's the first anniversary set. And now we're starting to see some of the alt arts and the new link rarities and the SPs and stuff from Bandai. The way that Bandai kind of releasing this has me slightly concerned. Now, this is my favorite character in Gundam, and is also, well, it's not my favorite character in Gundam. That's Athrun. I'm sorry, I'm lying. My second favorite, it was my first favorite character in Gundam. In fact, if you look over there, you can see it. Probably can't see in the background. Right there is a figure of Sailor Mass, and this is my favorite alt art in all of Gundam Card Game. I think this is stunning. This is a cheap card, or is it? Just the other day, I was thinking, you know what? I want a play set of these. I'm going to get a play set of these, and I had a couple in my basket, £18 each. And then this video happened.
If you're not aware, this card is probably going to do quite well. The reason is because in the live action Gundam movie, Sydney Sweeney is going to be acting this character. This is very underground information. A lot of people don't really know this.
And then all of a sudden, this happened. And they're just completely bought out on eBay. Now, I'm not saying that the video that I just showed you was specifically responsible for this. Stuff like this just seems to happen when enough people see it, or even if one person is motivated and they are just a whale. If you're familiar with investor type videos, a whale is just someone that has a significant amount of money that is just kind of buying up everything in the hopes that they can just mass buy one thing, and then they kind of control the population. But then also you're looking at other stuff. So like the Gundam Lefrith, for example, from the premium card collection. Ignore this because this is not £23. The cheapest you can buy them for is £164. If you look here as well, like just since May, it has just continued to go up. You're talking $260 as well. And I mean, look, people are buying them for over $300 each right now. It's concerning. And then we're seeing Wing. Now, Wing was always going to go up with this being an Endless Waltz set, but it's gone up a dramatic amount. And this kind of started happening pre-GDO. I mean, I bought this in December for £45. And the reason why I think that some of these are just not realistic is a good example is a card like Delta Plus, right? Now, Delta Plus with the new Armoro, the new age kind of like viability and stuff like that, Delta Plus is actually a significantly viable and playable card. But you can see that it did go up when we found out about Armoro and stuff like that, but it's come back down and you can buy this, and like it's not going for crazy money. And this as well, this is GDO 1, so it's not like because it's just so old. But this kind of feels natural. And then you see the stuff with the Freedom NTCs. You look at this, on the 1st of June, these were going for £900. That's still a lot for a piece of cardboard, right? Fast forward 2 weeks later, they are going for ridiculous amounts. People buying them for $2,500. I don't actually ever mind anyone like spending their money. Spend it how you want, you know what I mean? I buy a lot of alt arts and stuff like that. But I think we were naturally always going to have this happen. You know, the success with One Piece being a Bandai game, people are going to be like, oh, you know, the first anniversary set of Gundam coming up. There's going to be parallels. There's going to be opportunity to either scalp or flip and stuff like that. Whilst nobody likes scalpers, it is a part of the TCG. And if it creates hype for the games, companies are not going to be necessarily disincentivized to. However, what concerns me is how Bandai are going about the GDO 5 release. Now, somebody on Reddit managed to get their hands on some cases. In fact, they actually opened up, I think it was 4, and they wrote, we pulled 3 per case. Now, this is in regards to SPs, right? Saying we pulled 3 per case. I'm sorry if I got anyone confused. The first Reddit post of mine, I think it was deleted. We opened some more displays of a 5th case, something which I didn't include in the original post, and managed to pull 3 more SPs. So essentially, all in all, they got 3 SPs per case. Now, here's another thing. How many link rares were there? Did they replace the hit in the box, or was the box still 2 hits plus extras? It was still 2 hits, and the link rares was separated. It felt like 2 to 4 per box. Interesting that there's no specific amounts of like, that's quite a big variation. However, here's the big part. Apparently, it seems that we're not getting resource pluses or pluses. So that extra SP isn't additional, it's just taking that slot. Here's the main concern. We are getting 16 SPs. You heard that right, 16, and they've all been released. We're getting 8 pilots and 8 EX resources. Now, whilst that sounds great, That is more than every single SP we've ever had combined. So what does that actually mean? Well, what that means is if you are trying to get a playset of these, you're not going to be able to, or you're going to have to pay a significant amount. And that means if they are evenly spread out, which we don't know how they map these things, if they are evenly spread out, they are going to be so hard to pull. Because if you're getting a 3 per case, you would need 5 entire cases and you still wouldn't get one of everything if you were lucky enough to get one of everything. Now, we don't know how it works, if there's going to be dupes or stuff like that, but the variety of SPs means that these are harder to get, which means the prices of these are going to be insane. And what does that mean? When you have valuable cards, scalpers come into the game, people are attracted to it. Whales will start buying these up, controlling the market. Then before you know it, if you want a playset of Setsuna, Kira, Hero, whoever, they could charge whatever. Now, the argument is you can still play the game-based rarity, nobody cares, of course. But what I think what happens is it's a real shame in terms of the player base, because if a player base is able to get some of their favorite cards for 20, 30 pounds a card or whatever, and they enjoy those cards, and all of a sudden those chases aren't really there anymore, people can become disincentivized to play the game, and maybe they just kind of fall off. They fall out of love. The idea of getting something, yeah, it'll be nice to pull something and be like, oh my God, this is worth this, blah, blah, blah. But the chances of that are not that high. If you can open, like this guy said, he opened 4 cases and part of a 5th, and they didn't pull a single LR++. Here's another thing. Those LR++s, we're getting 5 of them. That's right, we're getting 5. Now, if you can open nearly 5 cases and not get a single one, considering there's 5 of them, they're gonna be silly money. Now, what are we comparing this to? Well, let's compare this to One Piece's last anniversary set, which was OP13. Now, OP13 had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 SPs. And you could argue that these wanted posters are like a different type of SP, because these are SR SPs and these are SEC SPs. They're different rarities. See, we don't have SECs yet. Maybe you could say that that's what our link rares are going to be. But even still, when it comes to the R versions of what their manga cards are, which in this set, they had 3. You had Luffy, you had Ace, and you had Sabo. And what they did, which was actually quite cool, is they kind of had 3 different versions of them. So you can see you had a manga Luffy here, then you had a kind of like cheaper version of it here that was worth like 20, 30 bucks or whatever, and then you had like a red version of that. So it's kind of like they had the LR++, and then they had like an LR+++ in a way. But even still, the variation that we have more than this. So being able to pull what we are going to get in Gundam is significantly harder than this. And here's another thing, Phantom Aria as well, right? Content, 1 pack, 12 plus 1 cards. Freedom Ascension, 12 cards. So we're losing a card, but we're no longer getting resources. It's not really changing anything. So that card, we're just losing one. So we no longer get the resources either. And I don't really understand why we wouldn't get resources. Like if it's just losing a card, what are you gaining? Now there's always like the conversation about GDO3, right? Because in GDO3, cases got extra 2 SPs. So there was 3. There was 2 guaranteed, and then there was 3 others, right? Which was the Mika and the Lion and Blood. You kind of have to look at those like they were almost like not SPs, but they called them SPs. So people are naturally going to kind of make that correlation of saying, well, we got 5 SPs per case before, wasn't even an anniversary set, and now all of a sudden we're not getting them. I'm just really concerned about this because we all know that Gundam makes the nicest all arts and they're unparalleled. They are the best in all of TCGs. I don't think it's an argument. So naturally it's going to start, you know, people are seeing it on Twitter. They're starting to see it on Reddit, and the game is starting to pick up, and this is our first anniversary set, so we are going to get attention. But it concerns me when I see stuff like what they're doing with One Piece with the Flame Fruit competition. Is they have a tournament which really cool. It's the 1-of-1 prize cards, and you know, only one winner can get it out of 4. I think it's like 4,000 people, but they're also selling promo cards at this event, so people couldn't even get tickets to participate in it because scalpers were doing it so they could get the opportunity to buy the shopping. They're not even going to play, like stuff like that. You just feel like that's going to happen. And then obviously we've got the Naruto TCG coming as well, and more eyes on the TCG space. Like that game is just going to be so popular, and it's just the Bandai kind of ecosystem, I feel, is kind of not predicated on this type of behavior. But I feel when you start seeing that along with the videos that are coming up and stuff like that, it's a bit of a concern. Now, I don't really know in terms of like this video, like what's the goal, right? What is the goal? What I think as a player base is to not fund and enable this to happen. We can't stop it fully, but let people hold bags. heavy bags. We want this game to grow because we enjoy playing it. And if you are a collector as well, this is not aimed at like discouraging or like saying any negative about that, because I like One Piece cards as well. And I don't play the game. I have gone to locals and I have played some One Piece, but I don't actively play it. But I like the cards. But I don't think that we should allow our game to be scalped in the way. Let Bandai see with our wallets what we are willing and not willing to pay for. Do not buy stuff for MSRP and above. Sorry, buy stuff for MSRP only, right? Do not pay over £100 for a pack of resources that cost 20 quid. Do not pay 40, 50 pounds for a pack of sleeves that cost £9. Cards will go up and down due to playability. And if that's the case, that's fair. But just because Sydney Sweeney may or may not even play Sailor, because we don't even know if it's going to be based on UC stuff. It could be, who knows? It's, what, just because she got blonde hair, you think that's gonna be. And also, Gundam players don't really care. Let me know your thoughts. How do you feel about the prices across the board going up as well? Does it deter you from collecting alts as well? How does it make you feel about the game in general? Are you excited for GDO 5? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Guys, I'll see you in the next one.